I love Beth to death. I have seen her in many tournaments because she's a Connecticut player. Um, but also Annette is one of my closest Scrabble friends, and I also think she is very, very, very good at the game. Um,
Yes, she is indeed.
and drawing a nice rack, or I guess this is
Hmm.
Beth. Um, there's a couple plays that you can bingo through, like reinvade, or I can't think of
Oh,
another one off the
yeah,
top of
very
my
good.
head. But um,
Neither can I.
so in a
But
position
yeah,
like
she
this,
doesn't have any bingos.
yeah, there's a lot of tiles that if you like exchange maybe the E, you could bingo with. So yeah, it's a question on whether you play it down or you just exchange. But
Hmm.
Annette is drawing a nice rack as well.
Oh, yes.
She has
Vayner is
Ambries,
26.
um, which plays down above Vayner. I'm trying to see if there's any eights though. Um,
Well, what word did you say? I'm sorry.
Ambries, I think, is good.
Well, she also has Ambaris through the A in Vayner.
Oh, that's
Double
interesting.
double.
That would be a double double for a lot of points.
Yeah.
Um,
Of course, I'm cheating by looking at the analyzer. You'll notice I'm not finding things like that in my games.
hmm Um, I mean, there's a lot of things to look at. Like with a rack like
Yeah.
this, you break it down into its roots, and you see, all right, you have IER, you have ER, and you have UBL if you use the L. Um, so I'm
Yeah,
sure she'll
indeed.
take a minute just to hope that she's finding the best play. Ambries is a hard play to find because, like, I don't think she studied that high in her sevens or in her eights, and it's not a seven based route.
Her next best play is a common word, starting with a V. If you want to try to find that.
All right, let's see if I can find it. There's like vibremia, but that's not a word.
I think it
um,
has Latin origin.
okay, this is interesting.
Might see it in a legal context.
Oh, Balmer.
Well,
No, what was it?
verbatim.
Oh, that's a hard play to find.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
would
So
be a sick play.
I didn't mean to, yeah, put you on the spot there, but if you had found that, it would have been very impressive.
No, 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 no. I love games like that. Um, all right, so Balmer comes out, and that's a really nice play because not only does it overlap nicely, it doesn't take an S, and the IE combination underneath is hard to get into the triple with. That being said, Beth does play says using her S and Z, which is a nice play
40
to
points, very good.
choose a. I wonder if there
Uh,
was any strong double doubles there though, with like Cieza or a size. I can't quite remember what her rack was, but there was some interesting other words.
uh, the a slightly better play would be as size. Um, where would that would that a size for 50 points through Balmier,
Oh yes, with the
through the
Z on
I
the
in Balmier.
double word score. Yes, it's always important to look for plays like that. However, yeah, I guess that would be a pretty safe play. I was thinking that maybe you could get the Z onto the triple from that, but it closes it down pretty well with the E there. Um, and it looks like we've disappeared on the broadcast.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know if that's intentional.
they should still be able to hear us. So Annette played Jan for 19,
Now Beth almost has an
cleaning up
incredible
her
eight
rack a little bit.
eupepsia. Um,
Oh my gosh.
she needs. Oh, she unfortunately needs two more tiles. If the S was an I or a P, then that would play down. Um, but I don't think it comes down. Um,
Just want
are there
to
any
take a
interesting
second
plays to the
to
triple that you see?
I'm sorry, I just want to take a quick second to encourage our viewers to please like and subscribe to this channel. It's been
Yes, it
growing
helps so
very
much.
quickly in the past few months. So yeah, let's keep that going. Um, okay,
All
I'm
right.
sorry I forgot your question, but we'll have to move on. I think
Mm-hmm.
Vapes comes down
I was just wondering if she had any
for
fun
20 points.
plays to the end or anything last turn. Um,
Oh, okay. I
now
think
Annette has a good set of
she
tiles
doesn't have
to
any
be
trade.
comboing with the
Hmm.
J. Um,
Yeah, she has a standout play here, actually.
Interesting. I mean, things I immediately see are like join and um, joy
Actually,
above
Jeffrey,
OBR.
remember the lesson you pointed out? Oh, actually, um, a better play using the lesson you pointed out from my first game would be Judy in the same spot, going right a little bit, forming dies and your.
Oh, that's cool. That's a hard spot. Um,
Yeah, those hooks of
Judy
three letter words that you were
is
talking about.
a clearly good play there. But judo is nice in that it gets most of the same things done, just a couple less points.
Yeah,
Pug coming down, so I think Beth is just trying to clean up her rack a little bit.
yeah. I mean, it's only 10 points, so she's really counting on
Mhm.
forming a bingo prone rack for her next
So
game.
far, she's hanging in despite being down a bingo. Um,
Hmm.
but Annette still has pretty good tiles here. The Y works well with her L and B. Like something like Nobly could work. I don't know if it would play. Maybe next to Vapes, but that might be risky. The Y isn't a terrible tile to put there, but not awful.
And for our newer viewers out there, or newer, I should say, newer Scrabble players, like some of her best plays are just things like Boy and Boney, um,
Hmm.
following the principle that Jeffrey was explaining, just trying to clean up her rack a little bit, to hopefully get closer to bingo next
Hmm.
one.
Now it's interesting that the board is pretty closed right now. There's the S, which is a big risk, but other than that, there's not many places that you can bingo. And the S that Beth is keeping there doesn't play. It won't hook onto any words. It's helpful because it's a nice tile.
Sure.
Um,
But if she had to drop it for some more points, it might be worth doing because of the board,
mhm.
as you were saying.
And in fact, because of that, I might have preferred that Beth play Peck next to Vapes going down. It's a couple less points, but it allows you to use your S, and it keeps the game open when you're down a little bit. I mean, the S is very
Very good.
powerful here, especially when two have been played already.
And that has at least one other hook, right? H, maybe?
Yes, yes, I think you're right. And the K, but that's going to probably not be too impactful. Um,
But yeah, of course.
Now, this type of rack is my least favorite, just because I'm sure there's some good five that plays somewhere that's very nice. Oh, Zinko is a nice find to clean up that rack.
Yeah, those
Um,
those short Z words,
mhm.
Q, J, X. Yeah, very good to know.
Oh, very nice. I was about to say we find ourselves in the exact position I was describing, where she has a bingo but no place to play with the S. However, she does have another S on the board, and she can drop down Sautoirs,
Very
which
good.
is
Yeah,
very nice.
that was their only bingo.
Um,
She found it pretty quickly.
Annette has an interesting play with a P of Eola pile, but I don't think it goes down. Oiled is a very interesting play there.
Wow,
It's very
that's very
risky.
aggressive.
Hmm.
You don't see
I
that
might
from a
even
net
pref-
too often.
I might even prefer something like Olio to the triple on the bottom, just because it is a little bit less risky. But
Yeah,
she believes that she can come back. And if there is a time that you want to be risky after your opponent's bingo is a nice time because they haven't had any time to clean up their rack to balance things out. So they're more likely to
true.
have a terrible rack than any other turn of the game.
It's a great point.
Um, did she have something like
Oh my God,
swifting in there?
she had a triple of figworts,
Wow. Figwarts is
as
crazy.
pointed out
Faust is also a
by
great
George in the
play.
chat.
I don't know that. Is
Yes, it
swifting
is.
good?
Oh wait, it's Faust is no good, but
Faust
if I,
is no
if
good?
not for that, if not for that,
That's
it is
funny.
her second best played behind Figworts. Yep. Oh,
Oh, and
nice
she
challenge by
challenges it.
Annette.
That's incredible. I can't believe that she knows that she's not only confident that it's not. It's one thing to be confident of a play that you make, it's another thing to be confident that your opponent is wrong. And she does that here. Now, was swifting a possible play through the eye? Is that not a word?
Well, um,
I
it
guess
would
it.
if Swifting would play it. It's no. There's no Swifting must not be a word. It doesn't play, or
Mhm.
it's not showing up to analyze her, I should say.
Yeah. All right, so Aoi
Um,
comes down, cleaning up the top spot and helping out with her tiles
mhm.
and facing them down. So you might say that Annette knew all along that her opponent would challenge after the oiled, and that's why she played it. Really thinking ahead there.
Yeah,
Um,
that's just four-dimensional Scrabble.
wow, Faust is an incredible challenge because there is another version of Faust that I feel like I've heard of before. I might be wrong. Um,
With a U, that would be a word, right? Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure. All right, Village is a nice play here. Gets the V on the double word score. Um,
Back-to-back 30-point plays.
ooh, that's a
Very quick
very
play of a
cute
wet.
play. That's a cute play because Beth had no vowels. She couldn't really
Oh
capitalize on
wow.
anything. Um, but I think now you might want to look around and notice that the Q hasn't been played yet, and there is now that nice Q trip up on the top that's hard to block. Um, I'm not sure how well you can capitalize on that, but it's interesting to know. And will Annette be bingoing here? Um, I don't think she will. She has nice tiles. Wow.
We're getting some quick plays here. Unrated, very nice.
Oh, very nice. All right, Beth. Oh, that was Annette playing down another bingo.
Yep.
Fawn is an interesting play.
Oh,
Um,
and Beth has the next blank. So
Are
she's
there any
down by
bingos
about a
that
bingo, but
come down
there's
here?
one.
Let's see if
The,
we can find it. There's ladder. Oh no, that doesn't work. Um,
so it's a high probability, of course. I'll tell you it plays above how.
yeah, I see that must. Um, for some reason, it's slipping my head. You can't play the ER there, which is a little bit annoying. Um, can I ask what the blank is?
Or it's an I.
I? Oh, trailer and retrial. Interesting.
There you go.
It's still a weird. That's a hard one to find because it doesn't use the ER the way you'd think it to be used, and the I.
At the same
Like right
time,
now,
it
you should be
starts with
looking under the.
RE. So maybe,
So in
when
this
you,
place, at this point, I feel like they're both players are still in the game a lot. Um,
yeah,
there are some interesting fond hooks, like a U can go beneath there for fondue. So can an
oh,
S, but both of those, all S's and all U's have been played already. And
yeah,
now
so
there's
it's
just
just
some
that
heavy
blank.
hitting tiles coming back with the K, the Q, the X. Um, I think it's critical that Beth find retrial here.
I
Um,
agree. So she's taking her time as she should in this
and
spot.
she
Very
finds
good,
it.
very
That's
nice.
great.
What a game.
Uh,
So that puts her down by just 8. Annette
Now,
has
the
the
problem with the
Q.
retrial is
She's
puts
not happy
the
about that.
R right in that triple lane. However, Annette is
Mm.
going to be hindered by her Q, which doesn't have very many words.
Well, you pointed out that spot at J, right, at J2.
hmm
Yeah, so
And she does just
puts her
drop that
down
down.
by
One thing that I might consider is that
31.
that Q spot is probably safe. Like, not much is going to happen to it. It's not worth it for anyone else to play there. So it might be smarter to try to block down that triple to start, um, just because it's a really risky spot. I'm sure that Beth right now is going to score a lot with something like Hiker or. Um, can you help me out? What else does she have there?
Oh, exhort.
Exhort. Or even just EX plays for a lot underneath retrial with the E.
Yeah, or XI or
XI
OX.
too.
Oh no,
Exhort would be a good play.
XI
Oh,
and
exhort
EX
with the
are right there.
H. Interesting, yeah.
Hmm.
That would score a lot. Um, that would put her right back into the game.
Jeffrey Axer says that actually that he thinks that might have been the easiest Q drop ever. So
Really.
yeah, so
I feel like in this
is there
end game, that
a
spot
peaceful
is
debate here?
safe, and it's smarter to block down the super open lanes when you can win with that. All right, so she plays Hiker. Um,
Hmm. So
I
what's this?
mean,
Oh, it's a tie score.
Axer Typo really doesn't know what he's talking about. He hasn't been around the
Oh
scene
yeah,
long, and I don't think he has that much skill when it comes to games like this. Um,
he's true, and he
so
has no. credentials to his name. No, nothing to back up his talk.
Hiker comes down, which is a
Unfortunately.
good play, but Annette is going to have some really nice overlaps with Tamed um, or Dated or something. Tamed
There
comes
you go.
down, which
Tamed,
scores a lot of points.
38
It's
points.
going to be up to Beth to see if she can drop down this X for a lot of points.
So
The
she
only
has,
spots I'm seeing that are good are above retrial with OX,
need to look more
but
to the right of the board.
oh, you can play Ox underneath Village, which will score a good amount.
But then I think that's 37 points. It still loses the game,
It brings her
right?
just about in
Annette has
line, but Annette
DEL.
will have many places to go out.
Yeah. Good
Yeah,
game
she can go
though.
out underneath unrated or underneath Figs. Um, is Ox still Beth's best play? I assume so, right?
Yes. I mean, for equity, yes.
Ooh,
Oh,
and she
she
doesn't
plays
see
Ox
it.
there.
That's okay. At this last point in the game, it's not going to make too much of a
There you
difference,
go.
just a couple of points. But Annette
So
punches
Annette,
it.
uh, 401 to 378, very, very
Hmm.
close battle.